I had discovered some cheateration happening, when really what I walked up on was adults making their own rules in terms of what their relationship looks like. And so I wanted to talk to you guys this week about threesomes. How do you have them? Are they good for your relationship? What's the rules for engagement? So if you saw and follow a one Justin Timberlake on Twitter, now, if you guys recall, he was not caught, but seen on video, basically flirting and holding hands with a co-star of his, Alicia Wainwright. It looked innocent yet inappropriate from the confines that he is married, but also it wasn't like she was slopping his knob. She was just touching his knee and holding his hand. Now, Justin released a statement this week, seemingly sometime has passed since the bar date with him and Alicia, and he called it a lapse in judgment. He also went on to say that this is not the behavior or the example that he wants to set for his son, and apologized for embarrassing his family. So for many of us, I think that seeing Justin in that particular situation was triggering. Triggering because more times than not, if you've ever been cheated on, or if you've ever cheated on someone, it started out innocently enough in most situations. However, more times than not, if you've ever been cheated on, it's really the betrayal and the lack of communication that really hits the hardest. It hits different. It hits different when that's the surprise, like, I don't like surprises. I don't want nobody jumping out no cake at me talking about, girl, I'm your man's girl. Like, I don't like that. So I think when you see people exhibiting behaviors that otherwise would be deemed as inappropriate in any standard or traditional relationship, you instantly think that somebody's doing something wrong. I mean, it's no different than when I saw my friend's fiance on Hinge and I instantly thought he's doing something wrong. But upon further investigation, I found out that, you know what? The rules for engagement in relationships have changed. No longer are people subscribing to the rules that a monogamous relationship is what is necessary in order for a couple to be happy. So then that led me to speak further to this friend about threesomes, because she told me that, her and her fiance oftentimes engage in threesomes, and basically their biggest thing is to talk about it and to enjoy themselves. She actually said to me that she would much rather create the rules of engagement for her relationship than to find out that her man was cheating on her, just because he couldn't communicate to her that he had a physical desire to be with someone else. I don't know if you saw in the news this week, but there is a judge in Kentucky who is accused of turning her chambers into a glorified frat house, where she pressured attorneys into group sex and had threesomes with her secretary and former church pastor. Get into it, honey. Dawn Gentry is accused of having threesomes in her office with her secretary and a guitar player she hired to work in the court as her case specialist. She allegedly asked a female attorney to sleep with her husband while they were getting divorced so she could accuse her husband of infidelity. Get into it, bitch. Gentry is also alleged to have asked the woman to have group sex with her and the guitar player. The claims go on to state that they were replaced if they did not donate to her reelection. So if you didn't donate to her judge reelection, you couldn't play in the threesome anymore. And yeah, so I share this story with you to further kind of just shine a light on how popular threesomes actually are. So here are 15 things that no one will tell you. Now, this I got from Metro UK. 15 things that no one will tell you about having a threesome. So, people who have had threesomes, they love, listen, one thing that I realize about people who have had threesomes is that they love to brag about it. They love to brag about it. Now, no one wants to talk about the time that they came too quick or didn't come at all. No one wants to talk about any of the bullshit that has happened with them in sexuality. But when you get to getting niggas going on threesomes, oh, bitch, it's almost like, I don't know. I almost think that people see threesomes as, at this point, as almost like a notch in their sexual belt, so to speak. And that they are, it kind of paints this picture of them being far more open and far more sexually fluid and far more exciting and excitable when it comes to sex, right? Now, here's the thing. Having more than one partner at a time, especially when they're both pleasing you, I can only imagine, because I've never had a threesome, but I don't know what it is lately, you guys, but I have been getting so many threesome propositions. And I truly don't even know where it's coming from. I don't know if I'm like that joint that gives off like, look at me, I'm here for a threesome. I don't know. I don't know if it's my new lotion. I don't know if it's my moisturizer. I don't know if it's the wig choice. I have no idea. But listen, let me tell you something. That friend that I talked about from Hinge, the fiance from Hinge, I'm pretty sure last night that she was kind of like tapping on my door to see if like, was I into threesomes? Here's the thing. I am very specific about sexual encounters. I'm not someone that is very laissez-faire, meaning very casual, very la-la about sex. I don't tend to be, because I recognize the energy exchange there. You know, now don't get me wrong. I've had my moments, child, but I've never actually had a threesome. I don't necessarily know that I would not be open to a threesome. I think that it would have to be, here's the weird thing. I don't think that I could have a threesome with someone that I was in an exclusive relationship with. Why, you ask? I think that it's mostly because I have a very specific ideology about who my partner will be in my relationship and them not wanting to share my energy with anybody else. Does that make sense? So for that reason alone, I don't think that I would ever have a threesome with my exclusive partner. But some run-up joint that I was just like, oh, whatever. I think I could. Now, listen, here's the thing. When anybody ever talks to you about threesomes, they always talk about the fantasy behind it, not the reality, right? So I can't say that I've kicked it off my bucket list, but here's what I can do. I can give you some tips to make sure that your threesome is story worthy. All right. So number one, first thing you need to know about a threesome is that it is nothing like porn. Now, from everybody and from all the research that I've gathered, you know, when you watch a threesome, it seems to be very, just hot, you know, like, ooh, fantasy. Everybody's body looks amazing and everybody is hitting it right and everybody, you know, everything is going off, you know, but the reality is that body parts make noises and people sweat profusely, and there is just a lot of adjusting and positioning that needs to happen. So yeah, it ain't nothing like porn. So get that out your mind right there and then. Secondly, I would imagine that a threesome gets a little confusing. Should I put my leg up? Should you put your leg up? Should I go over here? Is it better for me to use my hand or my mouth? I don't know. Listen, with everybody's bodies kind of shifting all over the place, experts recommend that you think of your feet and think light on your feet and embrace the moment to get the most out of it. Now, experts also say, don't be afraid to laugh. Yes, laughing is an easy way to diffuse any discomfort and let go of the fantasy ideology. Don't let that fanny fart break your momentum. Oh no, honey. Go ahead and queef your little heart away, because what? Laughter is par for the course. All right, so here's the thing that is probably going to be my one problem when I have, or if I ever decide to have a threesome. It's not about two guys loving, pleasing, and adoring you. Romance and affection are only for the movies, so say the experts. This is more of an all-around competition, if you will, an all-around intense experience, so to speak. So with stuff coming at you from all angles, threesomes ain't for the faint-hearted, okay? It's about everyone getting their share pleasure. So no pillow princesses over here, because that's not going to work. It is a team sport, and in order for the team to win, everybody's got to participate. Now, number 5, keep attraction in mind. Now, same-sex threesomes, like 3 females or 3 males, experts say are kind of easier than having multiple gender threesomes. Now, the reasons why experts think that same-sex threesomes are easier than different gender threesomes is that in a same-sex threesome, it is more likely that everyone will be generally attracted to each other. But if you are a female with 2 men or a man with 2 women, or two people aren't attracted to each other, things could probably get a little bit tricky, which means that someone's going to end up feeling left out. More pressure is put on one person to please the other 2. And I can't, listen, that's a lot of mouth work for a bitch. Like, if I'm attracted to you and I'm attracted to her, but y'all 2 ain't attracted to each other, then that means that I'm going to be doing all the fucking work. And I don't think so. So make sure that you guys actually are generally attracted to each other. Now, the experts also say, stay open-minded. To combat awkwardness with dedication, to break outside your comfort zone, if you haven't kissed a girl before, a threesome is your chance. Never gave another guy the reach around? Well, go for it. Don't break any hard limits, but don't be afraid to try something new either. Now, I can only imagine that if this is going to be your first threesome experience, that or your same sex experience, that there's going to be a level of awkwardness there, but just keep in mind what you like and then just go for it. That's what the experts say, honey. Okay. So they also say try not to pair off. Even if you're enjoying one person more than the other, it can be a serious buzzkill to leave someone out of the fun. Make sure everyone feels included. And if you're simply just there watching or rubbing their chest while your mouth and their privates are getting to know each other, or whatever the case is, at least everybody feels included. Now, one threesome story that I heard was that someone told me that their partner actually really took a liking they felt a little too much to the other female. Now, even though it started off as them being a woman with the other female, once their partner got involved, who is a